Be able to do things that you are maybe a little bit afraid of. Let's get into it. I'm going to share with you some personal things that I have done to be able to do things that I've been afraid of and or too comfortable to do. I'm just going to tell you about personal experiences and something that I have been working through this year. Being scared of being out in the dark by myself have also been like a really big hindrance for me in my journey to become more of an outdoorsy person. So let me paint you a little picture here. Packing up your backpack, putting on maybe some cinnamon buns, you're getting in the coffee and your tent and your cozy sleeping bag, and you walk outside and you get into nature, get on the path, just skipping along. Everything is wonderful, the sun is out, maybe you hear some birds, some water, and the rustling of the leaves, and everything is just dandy. Everything is just exactly like you imagined it to be. And you come up to a camping spot where you think, oh my god, this is just perfect to set up my tent. Get it all up, start to cook food. And the sun starts to set. The shadows grow longer, and even though it's still light out, you start to question if this was a really good choice. You watch the sunset, everything's still beautiful, but in the back of your head you have the like, it's gonna be dark soon. And before you know it, the darkness sets in. And all of these doubts come just rushing by you. I mean, every sound you hear, the sounds that you loved to hear before, the rustling of the leaves, birds, they all are scary now for some reason. And you're like all tense, and you think that maybe you should get a fire going because it's getting colder, or at least dig out your headlamp so you can see something. But then again, if you do that, if someone is watching you, not an animal but a person, you will be like a light beacon of light in an otherwise dark forest, so everyone can see you. So you're like thrown between, should I get the light? Well, you need to get the light because otherwise everything will be dark. You will just fumble around in the dark. These fears and these conflicting like interests in your head can really, really hinder you from actually doing things. And for me, for example, that's exactly what has been going on in my head. But then again, letting your fears control the decisions that you make will limit you. It will make you unhappy, and you will miss out on life, on wonderful experiences that you hadn't got to experience due to your fear. I'm not gonna tell you just to swallow your fear, get out there and do it, because that can be awful as well. I mean, if you are actually fearful and you force yourself way, way, way out of your comfort zone, the experience that you have, even if it's camping in the dark, if it's like riding a horse, if it's speaking in public, I don't know, just insert whatever situation it is. If you push yourself too hard, it will be an awful experience. You won't grow from it, and you will just have an awful, awful, awful time. Of course, this is not the end, because if you have been watching some of my earlier videos, you maybe from this summer, you know that I've been camping in the mountains alone in the summer. But the big, big, big thing there is it's light out 24/7 in the summer. So now when autumn and winter has come, it's getting darker and darker sooner and sooner. And so if I weren't to challenge myself and expand my comfort zone to actually spend time outside in the dark alone, the window I have of actually being outdoors in the winter is like a couple of hours, and I have a job. And in my case, I started to talk to myself, and yes, literally, just ask myself, like, what are you afraid of? Are these fears that you have rational? I mean, I'm not opting for you to just brush your fears under the rug and be like reckless, because that won't help anyone. I mean, yes, there can be vicious people outside that wants to harm you, but statistically, is that the case? And for me, no. Being scared that someone is going to be exactly where I am, especially when I'm not on a regular trail and I'm just outside in the woods where I live, there will not be other people there. That would be so crazy. And what are the odds of those people, if there were anyone else out, that they're actually crazy maniacs that want to harm you? Again, it's a slim chance. So what are you afraid of then? Well, animals, sure. I mean, there are bears and wolves and moose and everything, but they're mostly more afraid of me than I am of them. So what did I decide to do to be able to expand my comfort zone little by little and actually work on these fears and let them exist, but not letting them take over my life? Well, one thing is that I decided to, I'm gonna film. I'm gonna film when I'm outside and share my experience, because I am pretty damn sure that I am not the only person in this situation. We all have fears, irrational or otherwise, that we want to challenge to be able to grow as people and actually do the things that we dream of doing. Besides filming, when I try to be outside and learning, I also decided to leave in when I fail at things, like getting the air mattress pumped up because it was a crap purchase and not getting the fire going with the fire rod. I mean, I am no expert. I'm learning and I wanted to share it with you guys. So what other things did I do to expand my comfort zone and actually be able to spend my first night outside in the dark alone? Well, so you maybe have saw that video when I went out and I didn't spend the night, but just to go into the forest when it's pitch black and spend time there, hear the sounds, make the fire, and just being out there and not, listening to the fear telling you to go home to the safety of your home and just stream Netflix for hours, because it's way more comfortable just to listen to it and go home. The woods is the same place when it's dark. You just can't see it. And that's scary. And also, of course, the trip in the summer to go out into the mountains and be alone, spend the night. That was also a thing, because I was even doubtful if I were gonna get to sleep even for 1 minute that trip, because I had never slept and camped alone. But it went fine. And it was a wonderful experience. I really recommend you to watch that video if you haven't. And also, this might come as a surprise to some of you, but I mean, I'm really enjoying to be outside and not have a podcast or music or anything on, because I want to hear the silence. I want to hear the sounds of the woods. But again, when I was outside alone, it was the first time. I want to give myself the possibility to succeed. And this time I actually was like, yes, if you are too scared, have a podcast on that is comforting, that is funny, that you can just listen to and feel better. That was a strategy too. So now I want to urge you to look at your situation. What is the thing that you want to do? What's the situation that you want to feel more comfortable in? Or what is the activity that you are afraid of, or that you're scared you're not going to be good at? I don't know, whatever. Take that thing and break it apart into smaller pieces and ask yourself, is this fear I feel, or this reaction, maybe this panic reaction that I feel, is it rational, or am I uncomfortable? Because that's a thing for me. I've been very, very comfortable. It's way more comfortable just to lay here on the couch and watch YouTube for hours than to, get dressed, pack up all the shit you need, and go outside where it's damp and maybe windy and cold. Let's just be honest, it's more comfortable to just be at home. But that's when I'm like lying on my deathbed, that's not what I want my life to be. I don't want to remember me being a lazy ass mother and just laying here and doing nothing and just dreaming of doing things and watching others do it, like on the internet. What are the things that you want to do, and how can you break it down into small pieces, and break it down into smaller pieces until you feel like, yes, now I have a strategy, I can see the path forward, I can do this. If you haven't already, I would love for you to subscribe to my channel and come along with me on this journey. It's really, I mean, to me personally, yes, it's a lot about crafting and being outdoors and to experience life. But it doesn't have to be either crafty or outdoorsy to you. I just want to be able to inspire you to do the thing or work on the thing to get to the thing or activity that you want to do, even though you are questioning yourself, or if you're fearful, if you are doubting yourself, because I really believe in you and I believe in me. And soon there will be snow on the ground and I will try to camp outside in the snow as well. But yes, I need to buy some better gear because I'm gonna freeze my ass off if I don't. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.